perfect example right now is Nashville hot chicken. I mean, is Nashville hot chicken is that popular here? Do you all know about Nashville hot chicken? Oh, can I take a moment and tell you about Nashville hot chicken? So, it's an incendiary version of fried chicken, and essentially you fry the chicken and you put a really hot chili paste on it at the very last second, and it is fire, okay? Here's the story, here's the creation story. So basically there was this womanizer in Nashville, and true to form, he was cheating on his woman, got caught, and so she said, I'm gonna get back at you by making your favorite thing, fried chicken, and I'm gonna make a super spicy version of it to burn your mouth out. So she does this, right? Dude takes one bite and loves it. So they end up opening up a restaurant. It exists in Nashville to this day. It's called Prince's Hot Chicken. It's in the hood. There's a lot of imitators now. In fact, one of the imitators gets more press than Prince's, which is messed up. But this is how hot the chicken is. If you go in and order the super spicy version, they yell out to the kitchen, dead man walking or dead woman walking. There's somebody who did a documentary on this restaurant. This is what one customer says he does. He goes to the restaurant, orders the spiciest version for takeout. He goes home, he draws a bath of ice cold water, he puts ice cubes in the water, then he gets in and eats the chicken. That's how hot it is. But Nashville hot chicken is popping up all over the place. And the thing that kills me is that nobody is connecting it back to the source. They're just saying Nashville hot chicken, and they don't connect it to Prince's. And here's my thing. If you're going to tell me the name of the animal that was killed to make my dish, why can't you just give a shout out to the source? Right.
That's right.
They tell you the farm. So if you're gonna source, why can't you culturally source these dishes? So, yeah. Maybe I'm nuts, but that's just one. Yes.
I don't think it's so cut and dry that black cooks don't cook black food. It's because it's simply not taken seriously. Like I think, for one, they always say how fattening it is. They talk about how I don't know. It's just like everything. I think in this culture, just kind of puts things that black people tend to do as less than. So I don't think it's just that black chefs don't want to do their cooking. They probably cook that way at home. But I think just to be marketable, to have a chance to get their name out there, like you said, Marcus got his fame from cooking Swedish food, not African food or Ethiopian. Even though everywhere you go now, you're eating injera. I mean, that's like I read this little thing about some company in I don't know, I'm gonna say Iowa, it's not Iowa, but someplace in Iowa, Midwest somewhere, where they claim that they supply Ethiopia with 80% of their tests.
What?
Really? I'm like, what?
I don't know if I believe that.
I mean, but I'm just saying, like that's about appropriation. Where you're doing it here and sitting it to Senegal, and that's what's making this wonderful stuff. It's not easy, I think, being black and promoting your own stuff. It's just not easy.
Oh no, absolutely.
You just don't get credit. So I don't think it's as simple as just not wanting to do it. I think there's a penalty you have to pay when you do it.
Okay, that's true, and just to add a layer of complexity to it, but what we know, and this has kind of been the verb of American history, is that when black folks do something, it's going to get copied.
All the time.
So why not just flip that? I mean, why not, I mean, we reappropriated other stuff, so why not do it in our
But I'm just saying, I think no matter how much you do it, you're still not going to get that appreciation or that acceptance until, like you said, someone white does it, and then, okay, we'll give you a little credit over here. It's just,
Oh, yeah,
I think that's just the way it is.
Yeah, I hear you, but I think the way that our economy is structured now is that you can make some money. I mean, you may not make as much as you possibly could, but you could still make a lot of money and be comfortable if you take this stuff at home. We've got separate avenues now for these customers. I just tell you my quick. Yeah.
I totally agree with you. It's about the passion, and it's about your commitment and holding on to something that is very passionate to you. And I think we get psychologically messed up with the money thing, you know?
I mean, no, but I mean, I think there are a lot of black people doing their own thing and repping their blackness every day. I'm just saying, I don't think they get the notoriety. I don't think black people don't do their thing, because black people do their thing every day. I'm just saying, to get that notoriety, I think, you know.
Well, can I lose some more points with you by telling you my Injera story? So the very first time, I write about this in my soul food book, the very first time I had Injera was in Washington, D.C. And when they brought it out, it looked a lot like those hot napkins that they bring out to you. No, but I appreciate what you said, I understand. Yes?
Just to get back to your new book for a minute, I'm curious, you gave some examples of African-American chefs who were like confidants of the family, that kind of thing. Would you say on balance, has this been a position where, for African-Americans, where it was a position that allowed them some creativity and autonomy, or has it been more of a kind of a, you know, you go, you do the work kind of thing?
It's more the latter, but it really just depends on the relationship with the family, right? Most of the time it was just the latter, just do the work. But you know, there's just several examples where somebody just kind of breaks through that. There's a story about, she was a maid really, but she helped with the food. She stumped for FDR in the 1936 election. I don't know how she didn't get arrested under the Hatch Act, because that existed, you know, federal police cannot campaign. She did, and after the 36 election, FDR brings her to the Oval Office and says thank you, you know? So you have people like that, but most of the times, they were kind of in between. So when civil rights leaders could not get the ear of the president, they would go to the cook and just ask if you could whisper in their ear or talk to them about this or that. And sometimes you see the cooks in a very tortured position, because in either oral history or their memoirs, they're saying that they understand the pressure brought by these civil rights leaders, but they know the heart of the person, and they kind of understand that they're in a tough situation. So they want people to give them, you know, more time, but then you have people saying it's not enough. It's never enough, right?
Yeah.
So you see the kind of the tension there.
It seems like an opposition because you're sort of more in the bureaucracy of government, and yet you're working directly with the family, and then your audience is this one family, really, and then, you know, drinking dinners, right? But
it's even more complicated than that, because your ultimate boss is the president, but your immediate boss is the first lady. So the stress of the presidency, most presidents wanted to play hooky off their diet, get junk food, and you've got the first lady saying, do not give that person, you know, don't give him this in any circumstances. So what they would do is they just wait for the first lady to leave and hook them up. Yeah, that's usually perfect. I'll give you one more story. Daisy Bonner and Lizzie McDuffie, that was the one who campaigned. So they were in the FDR White House. So when he would go to Warm Springs, Georgia, you know, they would see that he looked a little peaked. And so what they would do is they would make the stuff that the doctor, White House physician, prescribed. Because often it was the first lady and the White House physician who kept the president healthy. And so they would make whatever that person decided. And so when they would